Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Best Bugs Bunny Nemesis.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
And then there we go. Now we're recording. We're already doing it.
Wait, are we at the beginning of doing it? Are we in the middle of doing it? It's like when I'm having sex. When I'm having sex, I always ask my girl, where are we in this process? And I call it a process.
Sure.
Are we in the middle of sex? Did we just start, or is it already over and you just didn't tell me?
Well, you look at everything in a very sterile way. You're an explorer. That's
I'm a sterilist. I'm a sterilist.
You're a well-known sterilist.
Yes.
Which is why we're going to talk about cartoons with you. That's
I'm
the
a
only
little, I have to admit, like, look at this. It looks like I have filterless cigarette butts hanging out my ears.
I remember when those first came out, I was like, those look ridiculous. No one's ever going to buy those.
Yep. Guess what?
And I love mine. Yeah,
me too.
I recently washed this pair in the old washing machine.
On purpose?
Really?
Not on purpose. And look, not a darn thing bad happened to it.
No kidding.
Wow.
Let it dry out, plugged her in, charged her up. I'm here to tell you guys. May I give a public service announcement?
Yes,
by all means.
If you're going to take the time to spend, I don't know, how much are AirPods nowadays? EarPods, how much?
Like $200 and $250 for the pros.
Yeah.
If you're going to take the time to spend $200 or $250 for your AirPods or EarPods, wash them. They're yours.
Yeah.
Do what you will with them. No evil will come of them.
Wow.
There it is. Yeah.
And if you have an iPhone that you love, hit it with a hammer. It's yours.
Yeah. Sir, I can't get with that.
Listen, Gary, I hear you loud and clear. I'm going to take my iPad and put it in the dishwasher as soon as we're done and put it on the hottest cycle and get it nice and clean.
You're hearing me loud.
Yep.
But you're not hearing me clear. You're not hearing me clear.
Gotcha. 100% loud.
Done. I'm literally done with you. How do I hang up on this?
Oh, no, don't hang up. We're just starting.
You press the green button.
So we are just starting.
We are just starting. We are at the beginning of this.
Yes, we're just at the start.
People of the world, that voice that you are hearing that is not mine or Hal's is the voice of hilarious veteran character actor Gary Anthony Williams.
Yes.
Of whom we are both huge fans.
You say veteran, and I'm going to tell you ratch now, as we say where I'm from. Mm-hmm. It may have been only 2.5 years ago when I was in a voiceover booth in a studio, and I went, oh my God, I'm a professional. I'm a professional voiceover guy. I didn't realize it until like 2.5 years ago.
How did it feel when you realized it?
Yeah.
It felt like I had lied to the country. And I don't know if you guys got my letter. I wrote the entire country a letter.
Yeah, I did.
We did. Yeah. It was on my windshield.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly where I left it. I left letters on the windshield, not inside the windshield wiper.
Right.
I just licked them a little, stuck them right to the windshield.
Yeah, I waited too long and it was a sunny day, and I found that now every time I drive, I see your letter in reverse. And it's on my windshield.
Yeah. It says up there, yeah.
It got stuck to it.
It works.
Smart.
This is not a time to brag on myself, but I have some of the stickiest saliva in Hollywood. And I don't want to come off as a braggart, but I seriously have some of the stickiest saliva. It's definitely in my neighborhood. And I've gone around my neighborhood licking and sticking where a man shouldn't lick and stick. Tab for dinner
while toasting out of a Tab branded glass,
which also just came out of the washing machine.
Yes, yeah.
You put that in everything. Yeah. Just wash everything.
Yep.
You have to test it.
As we say on my street, I won't not wash things.
Right.
That's a latote when I'm using a double negative to prove a point.
As Valley Village does.
Oh God, we're always using double negatives. We're never not using them.
Well, today's topic, let's dive right in. Today's topic, Hal, who suggested this topic?
You know, I'm going to tell you who it was. You're going to be surprised when I tell you it's Mickey McGee.
I am surprised. Mickey wants to know about bugs. Let's do it.
Okay, let me just say this. Mm-hmm. Most of what I know about acting, I learned from Bugs Bunny.
Did you grow up a big fan of the Looney Tunes?
Absolutely. And as soon as my son was old enough to hold his head up straight, I put him in front of a television and I had him watch Looney Tunes. I have like the golden age of Looney Tunes. You know? I have all that stuff. I have all those DVDs.
I ordered Boomerang for my television specifically so that I could watch all the old Looney Tune shorts. I'm maybe the only 41-year-old guy in my neighborhood without kids who actively was like, yes, I will sign up for Boomerang.
Yeah. Hey, man, but to watch Looney Tunes. Now, I will say back in the day, he did some pretty racist stuff, but I'm going to give him a pass. He's a bunny.
Yeah.
He's a bunny.
He's a bunny.
Human. There was some pretty racist stuff, especially like during World War II.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he was not cutting our Japanese friends any slack back in the day.
No, that propaganda stuff is rough, super rough.
I'm sorry, I think it's called propaganda. There's a time for it.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Propaganda.
That's right. It was propaganda. They all wore tuxedos while they did it.
Always a good time to hate. You just got to choose it. Choose the right time to hate.
That's also Tab's slogan, isn't it? There's always a good time to hate.
Yes, always a good time to hate.
Yeah. So we've been asked specifically about the nemesis of Bugs Bunny, who has got frenemies, he's got recurring enemies, he's got sort of one-offs. So we're tasked with picking through, and our researcher Kate McManus put together this really great doc with pictures of everybody. How do we go about this? Is it about who's there the most and who's the most frequent? Is it about who is the most entertaining? What are we looking for here?
Let me pick out some. May I, Gary Anthony Williams here in Valley Village.
Yes, go ahead, Gary.
I'm gonna change my name here. I see Gary Williams is up here. I got to put the whole name in there.
This is Hollywood, man.
Yeah, legally, I got to put that because I feel like nothing unless my name is longer than everybody else's. I don't need to be the most talented guy, but if my name's not longer, I'll leave the business. Here's one that scared me as a kid.
Yeah.
It's the one with the gremlin on the airplane.
Yes.
Do you know that little character?
Yes.
There's the gremlin on the airplane, like Twilight Zone style?
Yes. Yes. And that little dude scared the hell out of me as a kid because like Bugs Bunny, the young ones don't know today. You only have to watch something once. But then if you were going to turn over to like Bugs Bunny Roadrunner Hour, which it was called, you may see the same cartoon. Like I saw that last week or 2 weeks ago. But when they played that little gremlin, something about that little dude scared the heck out of me. He is not the best villain for me.
No.
But he is one that scared the hell out of me as a kid.
He's one of the few on this list where Bugs is 100% the victim. Like in a lot of these, Bugs is either bothered by them and you realize this means war and then he becomes the aggressor. But in this one, he is 100% the victim the whole time. And he's flying a plane. Yes. Is he not? And then the gremlin is going to crash the plane because that's the gremlin.
The gremlin is trying to cause total gremlin-ish destruction.
Yeah, gremlicity.
Gremlicity. I did not appreciate his style, sir. I was not a fan of what he was doing.
Well, we can eliminate him right now.
Yeah. He's not the best.
For those playing along, the gremlin is from Falling Hair in 1943.
That's right.
Predates the horrifically racist stuff of.
But I was there. I was there in 1943.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was there the day that it happened. That Bugs Bunny was on that plane.
Yeah.
And that gremlin was causing pure, unadulterated, as well as adulterated.
Oh boy.
Gremlicity. I was there.
Where were you on the ground? You were on the plane.
Yes, both places. At that time, I could be anywhere.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Everywhere. And third choice, nowhere.
Ooh.
This is.
I just came from a wine tasting, guys, so.
That's fair. I'm currently having a beer tasting, so cheers.
Cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers all around. So the gremlin's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one I want to shout out who I also don't think will be the winner, but who I love, which is Toro the Bull from Bully for Bugs.
I love that bull.
That is one of my. I know he probably won't win because he hasn't made many appearances. But
didn't he use the old pencil sharpener?
Oh, that's right.
And he even used a grindstone at one point.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. The end of that particular cartoon in Bully for Bugs, 1953. That is maybe my favorite Bugs Bunny defeats the bad guy. Rube Goldberg invention.
That didn't end in meat, did it?
No, that ended with the bull. No. Yeah, when they had those steaks.
Yes, meat. It ended in meat. Yes.
It ended with.
I'm a vegetarian today.
Yeah, Toro.
That's what did it.
It ended with the bull up a hill somewhere in Spain and running full speed at the arena, wherein Bugs had slathered the ground in oil, built a ramp, and added a paintbrush on a stick to put glue on his belly, a piece of sandpaper on a stick to attach sandpaper, and then a match that the sandpaper struck that led to a fuse that blew him up dynamite style.
And then
Looney Tunes TNT. And then his horns went into the wood in the wall and Bugs Bunny hammered them down. It was a Rube Goldberg bit of insanity at the end of that cartoon. And it was my favorite ending ever.
Great. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
But he's not the winner, huh?
Not the winner. And may I tell you another one that used to confuse me? And I didn't know this character's name until it's that big red monster. Gossamer is his name?
Yes, Gossamer.
Sometimes Gossamer didn't have hands and arms. I don't know if you ever noticed this. It was just like a big thing, 2 feet, and then it would always weird me out. I was like, wait a minute, he just took his arms out to grab something or grab at something, but it was a more freaky thing to me because not always did you see the hands and arms. It was just 2 feet running at Bugs.
Yeah, he usually had it to menace or to get a manicure. To get the monsters are the most interesting people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will say this, and do not be mad at me, but I have not seen fully through a Space Jam. I didn't see it.
I've never seen Space Jam either.
Okay.
It's okay. So, you're okay.
I only know him from the real deal.
Do you know about the Space Jam website, though?
I'm ready to be educated.
I believe it's just spacejam.com. It's the original website that was created for the movie when it first came out, and it has been untouched since, I think, 1995.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Wow.
There is a website on the internet, 90s. And it is a blast from the past. So I highly recommend checking that out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super fun.
So, Hal, you're saying don't bother seeing Space Jam?
I think if you're a fan of classic Looney Tunes, which I am, and I also love basketball. I love both of those things.
Okay.
But together, for me, it was okay. To be fair, I was 20 years old when it came out, and I went to see it. I was in college and went to see it because it had the Looney Tunes in it. How could I not? And that movie was not made for 20-year-old Hal to enjoy. It was made for a generation of children who hold it precious, and I will go see. I'll go see LeBron's version too, especially now because I've known Eric Bauza for several years, and he is almost every single Looney Tune that there is.
Yeah. His new shorts are great.
Alone.
Yes. And he can draw them all. Eric Bauza is quite
he's a talented guy.
Yeah, he's a talented guy. He probably owes us money, though, guys. I mean,
now he does.
He probably owes us.
Stop praising this guy and start going to get our cash.
Eric, pay up.
I'll be honest. I really liked Eric Bauza until this moment right here.
Yeah, me too.
May I take a moment just to speak to him?
Yeah, please.
Eric Bauza, this is us, bro. We coming after your ass. We coming after that cash. Bugs Bunny, we ain't care. We don't care what character you play. We don't care how much talent you got, how much art you got, how kind you are to your community. We're coming after that ass, bro. And we coming after that cash, bro. Tab.
Let that be a warning, Eric Bauza.
Tab is paying me to criticize people.
I didn't know Tab had money to pay anyone right now.
Tab is loaded. They've done very well during COVID. Very well.
Huh.
Think of it. What animal started COVID?
A bat.
A bat, yeah.
Bats. What does bat spell backwards?
Tab.
They're
Wow.
loaded.
Wow.
Can't believe it.
I mean, it makes so much sense now.
You know what? Once I said that, I realized it makes none, and I want to apologize. I don't want to apologize to Bowser, though. Screw him. Screw him.
Yeah. Forget. We're still coming for his money. It has nothing to do.
That's right.
Is it okay?
For his ass and his cash.
Yeah.
Can I speak to Eric very briefly? Just very briefly?
Oh, please.
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
Eric, I know you heard what Gary Anthony Williams, the longest name in the business, was just saying about Tab and how we let Tab off the hook. You're not Tab, buddy.
Mm-mm.
We're coming for that.
Mm-hmm. And?
We're coming for that cash.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, would you guys mind if I just spoke directly to Eric Bauza for a second?
Do we have time?
Yeah, real quick.
You know what? I'll make it real quick. I'll make it really quick.
If we have time, take all of it.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Time.
Okay. Hey, Eric Bauza, just so you know you think you have sticky saliva. You have nothing on Gary Anthony Williams. The longest name in the business is sticky saliva. So don't even pretend. Don't even pretend like your saliva is as sticky as Gary Anthony Williams' saliva. Because if you do, you know what's going to happen. We're coming for that.
And?
Coming for that cash.
Coming for that cash.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
We done learned him.
He's been educated.
So let's talk a little more about Gossamer.
Okay.
There is one thing about Gossamer that I love.
May I guess?
Please.
And I won't expound upon it, but may I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Shoes.
Okay, there are two things about Gossamer that I love.
All right. I don't mind, by the way, I don't mind being wrong if it wasn't his tennis shoes. I don't mind.
Well, it is now.
Okay.
It's his tennis shoes and the fact that he's this big, scary monster. But the one thing he is afraid of is when breaking the fourth wall, the audience that is watching the Looney Tunes.
Oh.
So human, non-animated children. That's how his first appearance ends. Bugs points out that they are in a cartoon. He looks out the crowd and says, "People," and then runs away.
I don't even remember that. That's crazy. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of meta and breaking the fourth wall, and to see that be what ultimately defeats this villain in the end of the episode is the kids who are watching the cartoon.
Oh, got it.
That to me is fantastic.
Well, Bugs is the king of meta. And so him using that as a weapon, which he doesn't do that often, is a really nice piece. It's a great piece of writing too.
Yeah.
I think it's in the Bible where it says children will bring us all down. I guess.
Oh,
yes.
I don't know. Guys, I don't know.
It's in Numbers, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
Torah even. Not just the Bible, the Torah part.
We do it too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was my hot Torah course at my bar mitzvah.
When you say we, what's going on here? Are you mishpucha?
I'm mishpucha. I figured this is the right time to tell you because we're still in the beginning, but going towards the middle.
Yep.
So this seems like the right time to spring that on you.
Okay. Fair.
So
fair.
Just be aware. All my opinions are coming from that.
Well, I just will tell you, my new neighbor just brought me a pamphlet on Sukkot.
Oh my goodness.
Just brought it. I was just reading all about it this morning.
Yeah. Get ready to eat in the hut, everybody.
I can't wait to hut eat.
It's coming. That's how Pizza Hut was born. We needed to have some pizza. We did it in the sukkahs in our little tent that we make. And they were like, I don't know business. And
I don't know about this Jewish circus you're talking about. You guys got like clowns and acrobats and stuff with this Jewish circus?
Clowns and acrobats, jugglers, high wire act, trapeze.
Oh, I am there. How do I be Jewish?
Yeah. Oh, come into the tent.
Oh, groovy. Let's talk about some of the other lesser known of the characters. I'm going to just mention a few of them and tell me any of them that pop into mind as possibly making it onto the medal stand in this particular battle.
Okay.
We've got Nasty Canasta.
Nasty Canasta.
Who is a human outlaw.
Oh, yeah.
Who is you know what he is? He's not Yosemite Sam. That's what he is.
Yeah. I know who it is. He didn't do very much for me.
No. Pete Puma. Let's talk about Pete Puma. Only appeared 3 times.
But the great Stan Freberg did his voice. I've auditioned to play Pete Puma, I think, twice at different times.
Can we hear your Pete Puma?
Well, the hardest part of it is I can't even do it right now, but because I had peanuts
Yeah.
before, but that inhale he does, and like that kind of voice is down, like he's like super dumb, and then that noise is so good and so Stan Freberg. It's a great character that's sort of forgotten in the canon. He only appeared 3 times during sort of the classic.
I totally remember him. Like, definitely liked him, but didn't strike me as any.
Yeah.
Like, that's a standout. Totally memorable for me, though. Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Yes.
No doubt.
What about Giovanni Jones from Long Haired Hair? He is the opera singer. Yeah. He's basically like a Margaret Dumont to Bugs's. I mean, they all sort of are, but in that sort of Groucho messes with a highfalutin fancy pants.
Yeah. That character I love. Mm-hmm. Can I call him one of his biggest nemesis? No. One of his greatest? Yeah. No. Loved it. And also, it was that whole thing about Bugs Bunny that had so much opera and so much music in it that made people fall in love with it as well. So he brought that in there too. Yeah. I will say he wore this little sash around his waist.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in high school for about 4 months, I wore a sash around my waist like that. I'm not even lying to you.
For that reason?
I would wear probably because I would wear thin, tight baseball pants, and he had on these tight pants. And I would wear this sash around my waist. So, like, it was probably because of him. But seriously, I did.
Was the sash well received?
I could do kind of anything I wanted there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I grew up in the South. Mm-hmm. It was the real South. But I was a smart kid, and I was also pretty big, so nobody was going to fight me.
Right.
There's no time for fighting, Gary. We have other things to do. So I can kind of dress like what I wanted to do.
He does, looking at him now, he basically, you know what he looks like to me? He looks like Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid, but if he were overweight and blonde. He's dressed exactly like Prince Eric in The Little Mermaid.
Do you mean that Prince Eric is dressed?
That's true. You know what? Yeah. Long-haired hair was 1949.
He's like 50, okay, 49. Yeah. So there you go.
It's a very good point. Right. Prince Eric stole Giovanni Jones's look.
You realize when you say 1949 or 1950, we're talking about 70 years ago?
Oh my goodness.
And they're still funny.
Something so good and still like you can watch it with a child.
Yeah.
And still literally laugh at it. Not because, look at that old stuff you guys used to watch. Just because it's still ridiculously funny. Because of the voice work and the writing.
Quick sidebar. Yeah. Do you have a favorite classic Looney Tune?
Like episode?
Yeah. Like if there's a particular cartoon that you love or like one of the series was your favorite?
Oh, well, I don't want to be the guy, but Bugs Bunny. Yes. But then I don't know if there's any of them that I did not watch all of them of. I watched every freaking Porky Pig.
Yeah.
Every Daffy Duck. Like it was my thing. And I'm not kidding when I go, I first learned to act watching Looney Tunes. I'm not just talking voice acting. But if you watch Bugs Bunny, that dude was a good actor. Yeah. And he would switch it up in a heartbeat. And that was always my favorite stuff.
Chuck Jones is one of the greatest directors of actors of all time. Mm-hmm. It's just that his actors were drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hal, did you have a favorite?
Oh boy. I want to save it because I think that my favorite is probably from one of the medalists.
Okay.
You mean your favorite Looney Tunes cartoons or favorite character?
Favorite, like, individual short, I think involves somebody who is a medalist.
You were just talking about, I'm sorry. I thought you were just talking about Looney Tunes cartoons themselves.
In terms of the characters, as a kid, it was Marvin the Martian. I loved Marvin the Martian.
Yeah. I know.
Isn't that lovely? So great. Such a great character. So much fun.
And his movements, his
teeny little legs under his little skirt.
Like a wind-up toy.
The idea of making a Martian dress like a centurion is really funny to me.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that dude.
Let's go through some of these other also-rans before we get to the big guns.
You don't know who my guy is, though. You call him an also-ran, you may stumble upon my dude.
Oh yeah. You have one in the pocket that that is yours.
I know who my favorite guy is. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Where were you? Where were you then? Where were you?
I was at Count Blood Count from Transylvania 65000 in 1963. I'm going to be honest. I do not remember this vampire character.
Big vampire.
Yeah, big vampire. But if we're going with big Halloween costumes, I don't think this guy has anything on Witch Hazel.
No, Witch Hazel. No. When she would run off screen, And then she'd leave her bobby pins floating. You look at her hair and like, her bobby pins were not doing her any good. Her hair was never looking fine.
They were doing
but you know what she did have? She had them sexy, skinny ankles.
She did have those.
For a big woman, she had some tiny, sexy ankles. I ain't gonna lie. And I got nothing against big women. I'm from the South. We're used to that. It's like birds of prey. The males are the small ones and the females are the bigger ones. Like eagles, hawks. The females are the larger ones. That's what the South is with women.
Yeah.
So I ain't mad at Witch Hazel.
No. Witch Hazel was played by the great June Foray for the majority of time. The character of Witch Hazel was inspired by a Disney witch from a Donald Duck short that Chuck Jones saw. That was also played by June Foray and was named Hazel.
Wow. I was not knowing of this. I was not knowing.
You're never not knowing.
You're always knowing.
That's a little. I'm never not knowing.
That's right.
That's so Valley Village the way you guys talk.
Were we saying if it's a witch, what?
I was saying if it's a witch named Hazel that is foil to one of the main characters in the bullpen of the cartoons, I don't think he was just inspired by it. I'm pretty sure that's called stealing.
Oh. But they stole a lot. Like one of my favorite things, and I haven't done it lately since the presidency, but is listening to old school radio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like everybody straight up stole. Like Foghorn Leghorn was this character, Colonel Claghorn it was like they just took that character and turned him into a rooster and took the other dude's voice. Like that's not who was Foghorn Leghorn originally. That Colonel Claghorn was not that guy who ended up doing the cartoon. Like they just took it. We'll put this on TV.
I mean, Dr. Lorry, one of the other nemesis from the original Hair-Raising Hair Gossamer cartoon, was just Peter Lorre in cartoon form.
Yes, it was Peter Lorre. It was totally Peter. Like, they made it look like Peter Lorre.
They named him Dr. Lorre, yeah. Not hiding anything.
Man, that was that was a great time to steal, Hal.
I know.
If you've ever wanted to live in a time of just stealing stuff and making it your own.
Oh, here's a brand new character. Don't mind that he sounds exactly like Humphrey Bogart. Don't mind it.
We don't.
See, he's an aardvark. Humphrey Bogart's a person. Clearly it's different. Where's my money? Where is it? Seriously, where's my money?
Oh, Eric Bauza has
Eric Bauza, buddy. Bauza. Yeah. He also has your ass, by the way.
What?
You gotta get both of those back.
I've just been sitting on my legs. It's terrible.
Don't sit on your legs. Sit on your residuals. That's what my neighbor Tony across the street said to me the other day. What are you doing, sitting on your residuals? Yes, I am.
Oh, man. Those keep us alive. Let's talk about The Crusher from Rabbit Punch, 1948.
Yeah, so great.
Just a big boxer in tiny green boxer shorts. He's a human boxer that Bugs fights in the ring.
Wrestler.
He's a big, wrestler. Huge and a dirty wrestler.
Yeah. Yes, he's a
dirty
cheater.
Back in the day. But also, he had some gentle moves as well. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. Sure. He has some gentle moves about it. I loved that character. I used to also watch wrestling as a little kid. So I loved the ones with that guy on there. Love that character. The Crusher.
We also have Rocky and Muggsy.
The gangsters?
Shit. Yeah. Those guys were always, I think it was the original appearance was, when Bugs would always stumble upon them and like they were always trying to kill him because he was a witness, right? Wasn't that, if I'm remembering this correctly?
I think at least they thought he was, and I don't remember.
Right.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yeah. Let us not forget, these were the days when in kids' cartoons, people could smoke cigars.
Oh, yeah.
They had guns. Like
cigarettes and guns. That's Rocky and Muggsy.
You could shoot people, man. The good old days. Stealing and shooting people.
There is one other minor character here who is maybe the only example of Bugs Bunny as a villain, which is Cecil the Turtle, which is they would just do the tortoise and the hare, and Bugs Bunny was the bad guy. He was the bully. Like he would dress up as the turtle. He would try to outrun the turtle, who was really slow. Just keep going.
Oh, I remember that. Yup.
Yeah. Which then, Beaky Buzzard is sort of similar to that too. That like,
But you know, what was not puppeteer, the ventriloquist?
Edgar Bergen?
Edgar Bergen. He had that same character, Mortimer Snurd.
Yes.
Mortimer Snurd. It's that same voice. Exact same voice.
They stole from a poor dummy.
They stole from a dummy.
Yeah.
They stole from radio's greatest ventriloquist.
Yes.
Do you think he moved his mouth in the booth?
Nope. Never.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Never.
I mean, the man is he's a consummate professional.
He was born without the ability to move his mouth.
Yeah.
He literally couldn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive that he could come up with so many great characters.
I have all this fake Hollywood knowledge.
Your encyclopedia's out next month, isn't it?
Yes.
See? I'm so excited.
It's a flip book encyclopedia. You'll love it.
Oh, I can't wait. I love pictures.
I hope you read fast.
I do. And look at the stick figures doing flips.
That's the only entry. Yeah. F. Flips.
That's it.
Watch. So, but Cecil Turtle also the only one to consistently defeat Bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Steals his catchphrase. Beaky Buzzard along the same lines of that slow, dim.
Yeah.
Like if Bugs is moving 1,000 miles a minute, they're moving at a glacial pace for the juxtaposition of it, which is a lot of fun. But also they kind of all blend together. Even I would put Willoughby the dog in that. Just kind of like dumb and slow, so not as fast and not as smart as Bugs.
I don't remember his vocalization, Willoughby the dog, though. I know what he looks like. I don't remember how he interacted with Bugs, really.
Yeah, he's not as memorable. Yeah, I don't remember it either. But Beaky Buzzard, I remember specifically. This is another one I auditioned for at some point in the last 5 years. And I was watching some of the original shorts. He has like a terrible home life where his father hates him and has completely rejected him.
Yes, sir.
And just does whatever. And his mother's like protective. She's like, give him something to do. So he's sent to go get a rabbit. He's trying to impress his father, who he will never. I mean, just like,
no.
He's the Eric Trump of the Looney Tunes world.
That's right.
If anybody gets a chance to look up Mortimer Snurd, that voice, you will hear Beaky Buzzard's voice as that.
I remember 100%. Mortimer Snurd from, there was one of those old Disney movies.
Fun and Fancy Free,
where they would take, it was World War II. They didn't have any money, so they would just take a couple of the shorts, package them together with some sort of narrator and make them a feature. And Edgar Bergen as Mortimer Snurd was one of the narrators. So it's all a big circle. I have one more that I want to talk about in this list, and then we'll take a quick break and come and talk about the real heavy hitters.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is a heavy hitter of his own series, but I don't know that I would call him a Bugs Bunny nemesis, even though they had 5 appearances together where he was opposite Bugs. And that is Wile E. Coyote. Wile Ethelbert Coyote. These, by the way, these were my favorite ones. Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote are, I think, still the best physical comedy ever put to film.
What, Roadrunner and Wile E?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Come on.
Yeah.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
But would you consider him, like when you think of Wile E. Coyote, do you think of Bugs Bunny?
No. I mean, I think we're pretty tuned into thinking about Roadrunner with him. I do remember. But definitely, like, his acting partner was definitely Roadrunner. Like,
it felt like a weird Sweeps Week mashup.
He did. That was the only time he spoke, was in the Bugs Bunny shorts. We'd talk about being a genius. A genius. And then he would lay out his plan. Yeah. And then that was where you got back to the drawing board. By the time they got to Roadrunner, he didn't need to speak anymore. You'd already I think he did the Bugs Bunny stuff first, because that was 52. I think the Roadrunner stuff came a little bit later. The Roadrunner sort of became his foil, but it's perfect. He doesn't need it. We already know his character. He thinks he's smart, and there's no need for any speech at all. They're like perfect silent movies.
You say we think he's smart. He was smart. He didn't always think out the last part of everything.
He had a lot of Icarus in him. He flew too close to the sun. Sometimes actually flew too close to the sun.
Yes.
In his giant green bat wings.
Yes.
That's right. They got burnt up and he kept trying to flap them.
All the memories. All the memories.
So do we have any from this section that are contenders for the crown of greatest Bugs Bunny nemesis?
Not for young Gary Anthony Williams.
Yeah.
I respect them.
Sure.
I wouldn't kick them out of bed. And I have a very large and comfortable bed.
Huge. Famous.
I wouldn't kick them out of bed, but no, I can't. I can't put them on my list.
Well, let's take a quick break, and then when we come back,
what happened?
Oh, well, we have to tell the good people about you. You were bad. You did a bad job.
We're in timeout.
So mission accomplished, and
and we're going to tell people about the other shows on the Maximum Fun Network.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Allie Gertz.
And I'm Julia Prescott, and we host
Round Springfield. Round Springfield is a Simpsons-adjacent podcast where we talk to your favorite Simpsons writers, voice actors, and everyone who's worked on the show to talk about shows that aren't The Simpsons. So we're going to be talking to people like David X. Cohen, Yeardley Smith, Tim Long about other projects they've worked on, sometimes projects that didn't go well, some failures, some rejections,
some failed pilots, some failed life events.
Yeah, we just talked to all the failures of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So if you really love your Simpsons trivia and want to get to know the people who have worked on The Simpsons a little bit better, come by Round Springfield.
Every other week on MaximumFun.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm James, host of Minority Corner, which is a
podcast that's all about intersectionality. It's hosted by James with a guest host every week.
Discussing all sorts of wonderful issues, nerdy and political.
Pop culture.
Black, queer, feminism.
Race, sexuality.
News.
You're going to learn your history, their self-empowerment, and it's told by what feels like your best friend.
Why should someone listen to Minority Corner?
Why not?
Oh my God, free stuff.
There's not free stuff.
The listeners of Minority Corner will enjoy some necessary LOLs, but mainly a look at what's happening in our world through a colorful lens.
People will get the perspective of marginalized communities.
I feel heard. I feel seen.
Like you said, you need to understand how to be more proactive in your community, and this is a great way to get started.
Join us every Friday on Max Fun or wherever you get your podcast.
Minority Corner,
because together we're the majority.
All right, we're back, and now it's time to talk about the big guns.
Wait a minute, hold on. Are we going to skip over the fact that we just had the single most amazing break that any three of us have ever had?
You know what? We can talk about it.
Let's talk about the break.
Can I tell you what I did on my break?
What did you do?
Would you?
Last year I had a bad wreck and my car was totaled. So I said, if my car is ever totaled, I'm going to buy the poor man's Tesla. So I bought the cheaper model of a Tesla. While we were on break, I went out there, drilled a hole in the side because I feel bad still for not purchasing gas to help the country out.
Sure.
I drilled a hole to the side, went to the gas station, and filled up the shell of my Tesla with gasoline.
Wow.
The highest grade gasoline I could find.
It won't look, you don't want to put the 87 in.
No.
Yeah.
You went full 93.
I went full frontal 93 on it.
I can't wait to see how it drives now.
Oh. Tab.
Listen to that tab.
It's so funny you did that because when I was on during this break, which was...
Oh, yeah, what'd you do?
I mean, this is one for the record books. I feel bad because I drive just a regular combustion engine everywhere. I was like, I want to feel more environmentally responsible. So I took a pickaxe to the hood of my car and just ran an extension cord in it, plugged that or sort of wrapped it around the battery and then plugged it into the wall and walked away thinking it'll probably charge. And then I feel like I'm doing something for the environment. I'm going to use less fuel.
Yeah.
It's the walking away part that lets America know you care. When you care about something, I don't know, say like the government with COVID, you walk the hell away.
Yeah.
Walk away.
You walk away.
And then you know what? It disappears behind you.
Yes.
Not even here anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope you enjoyed your car. Now it's gone.
You know what? We had a good run.
Yeah.
I have good news for you guys.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
During the break, I was also trying to be environmentally conscious. I've been working on this time machine thing. So I finally got it up and running, went back to the early 1960s and convinced the folks at Disneyland to blanket Southern California and monorails. So you guys won't even need your cars anymore. When you walk out your front door, all you got to do is just find your nearest monorail station.
Hey, there it is. This one right outside of my window.
Look out the window, man. It's great.
I didn't even know I had a window till you told me to look.
I also added a window.
Oh, this is the best hovel ever.
I just wanted you guys to see it.
Thanks,
what a break.
Man. Great break.
Yeah,
Great
good break, guys. But break's over. Now we have to talk about cartoons.
Okay.
So here are the contenders, the real contenders, I'm going to say. And that is Elmer Fudd, Marvin the Martian, the Tasmanian Devil, Yosemite Sam, Porky Pig, and Daffy Duck. So we've got those 6 to talk about. Where do you want to start?
Hi, my name is Gary Anthony Williams.
Yes.
Hey, Gary Anthony. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Of the Valley Village Gazette. I'll start in talking about somebody with Tasmanian Devil. I'll start talking about him.
Let's do it.
What do I love about him? What I didn't know when I was a kid, and now everybody knows it, but as a kid, I never really knew there was a character. I mean, not a character, but an animal that was a Tasmanian devil. I thought it was just a pure made up cartoon thing. And I used to love reading encyclopedias. And I remember looking in the Encyclopedia Britannica and seeing a picture of a Tasmanian devil going, that's real. And I really wanted one. But we were very poor, so I never got one for Christmas.
Sorry.
I know that you two rich guys probably had Tasmanian devils all over their homes.
I had two. I had 2 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Male and a female.
I actually didn't have a real Tasmanian devil, but and this is true. My dad, all growing up, drove a blue Jeep Wrangler with giant stickers of the Tasmanian devil on the 2 doors. Because I am also from the South, and when you grow up in Tennessee, you love Tasmanian devil stickers on your lake boat, your little fishing boat out on the lake. You put the Taz stickers on the side.
Sure thing. Look, if we could have afforded a boat, I would have put a Taz sticker on there.
Sure.
He was just so reckless, and he formed his own tornado.
Yes.
How do you not love a thing that can form its own tornado?
How did Bugs defeat Taz? Just confuse him? Because the Tasmanian devil is an unstoppable force.
But a lot of times, you know, when a male dog is making love to a female and you split them up and they just keep humping in the corner? Tasmanian devil was like that. He'd go into his wild, crazy thing, and then Bugs would just kind of step out and he'd spin himself into a tizzy over there. Many times he would do that.
Yeah.
Many times.
Let me ask you this. Do you think this is a downside of the Tasmanian devil? Because looking at a couple of these other foils, 2 in particular, Elmer Fudd and Porky Pig, I think as an audience member, I never really felt empathy for Taz. But with Porky Pig and Elmer Fudd, I actually it got to the point sometimes where I felt bad for these guys because their level of pathetic that they reach around Bugs Bunny is enriching, I think, for their particular shorts. Do you think that's a downside for Taz?
I'm not sure. Great question, by the way. And you asked it I'd like to use the word perfectly, and I've never used that word before.
I appreciate that.
You asked it perfectly. I don't know if that's a downside from him. I don't know as a kid if I needed to feel that sympathy. I don't know if he had a downside for me, but he didn't have a lot of levels to his plate. Tasmanian, you push the on button and he's just out to destroy someone.
Yeah, there were no dials. It was one switch.
Exactly.
He's hungry. He'll eat anything, eat everything. And he's become over time more of like Animal from the Muppets, where he's just sort of just kind of there. Like he's become more, I don't know if innocuous is the right word, but he's not a villain, which is what he was starting out. So he's sort of graduated out of that. Some of these other characters and these other 5, there are people where they'll always be enemies back and forth. It's not going to be like Tom and Jerry, where in the 60s they do the Tom and Jerry show where they're friends. And you're like, what happened?
And they give them hats and canes and they come out dancing.
There's no way. This is definitely a long game that Tom is playing so he can eat Jerry, right? Like they're going to be.
Clearly.
They're going to be doing like a limelight and just sitting and taking their makeup off, and then they say, gone.
Oh,
gone.
I love the idea of two old actors that have known each other forever about to go on stage together, and that's referred to as doing a limelight.
Yeah, it's a good old limelight.
Yeah.
I think there's one thing that, and I don't want to make this too real, but I do remember reading a while back that I think the real Tasmanian devils did they ever become extinct, or were they close to it?
Oh, I don't know.
And
they might have gotten close.
They were getting these tumors, these face tumors.
Oh.
Ugh.
So let's show a little bit of respect for the Taz, okay?
Yeah.
Because right now we're playing a lot of horseplay, but let's show a little bit of respect. Let's,
You're right.
put our hearts
You're right,
in
Mr.
it.
Williams. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Apologize. Mr. Gary Anthony Williams. Very sorry.
Yeah. No problem.
Who do you want to talk about next?
I chose Taz, so it's on one of you guys.
I want to talk about Porky Pig, who I never think of as a Bugs. Like, I really had to, when I saw him added to this, my first thought was, really? Because I do not remember him ever being an antagonist. My early memories of him were with Sylvester, which is my favorite version of Sylvester, where Sylvester's just trying to keep him out of trouble, where he's constantly like sort of Mr. Magooing his way through life. And Sylvester is fretting and trying to protect him.
Uh-huh.
And I think of Porky Pig, I don't think of him mostly, I guess it's kind of the same thing as with Wile E. Coyote. When I think of Porky Pig, I don't think of Bugs, I think of Daffy. I think of him being Daffy's doofus foil in some and sidekick in some and Mark in some. But I do more closely associate Porky Pig with Daffy Duck.
Yeah, agreed.
But he's wonderful. He's just not a Bugs foil.
He's fantastic. And, everybody's always talking about, like, Donald Duck didn't wear pants or, whatever.
Right.
Porky didn't wear pants. Donald Duck had a shirt that was all the way closed. Porky had an open vest.
Yeah.
He had an open jacket.
And a little bow tie.
And nothing else.
Well, gloves.
Like showing chest and all them good smooth pig parts.
Yeah. He didn't care. He was proud.
Yeah.
He was, he was his own pig.
Yeah.
I know that the original Porky Pig, if I'm not mistaken, and this is real, unlike the other bull stuff, the original Porky that they had hired was an actual stutterer back in the day. Like the first Porky Pig was a real guy who was a stutterer, and it was literally just too uncomfortable for people to listen to. But the original one, and if you look at the old cartoons even, some of the original ones, his stuttering was way more severe after they used a regular voice actor to do it. But originally it was a real stutterer doing it.
No kidding. I mean, Porky Pig did give Looney Tunes their finale of every cartoon. That's all, folks. Which spells out the that's all, folks.
Yeah. Bob Bergen has played Porky Pig for many, many years, and watching him break down the stutter, which is the thing most people get wrong, that it's always whatever whatever it is. That's like how he practices and tells people to practice. It's like such an interesting look at that character, because everybody does a Porky Pig impression, but to actually look at it and break it down that way I find that fascinating.
That's very cool.
What I just learned from you, more than that, what you just said, is that everybody does a Porky Pig impression.
Everybody does. Do your Porky Pig there. Go ahead.
I literally didn't know that, but I will say this. I have some old video of my dad before he died. I'm going to go back and see. I'm going to go back and check to see if there's any Porky Pig.
See if he threw Porky Pig in there.
Oh, I love that.
Clearly he did.
Of course. It is a dad move.
Yeah. Those were my mother's last words were the diva, that's all, folks. That she just said she couldn't help it. That was it. That was it for her.
Who could help it? Who could help it?
She couldn't. She loved cartoons.
She was her son's mother.
That's right.
My dad and I watched cartoons all the time. That is a great memory of me and my dad. We watched Looney Tunes and his favorite Pink Panther.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Love
that. So thank you for bringing that up. That was a great memory of mine.
Yes. Good. Glad to do it.
Let's talk about a couple more of these. So still on the list, we have Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam, and Daffy Duck, and Marvin the Martian. Let's talk about Marvin. We talked about him briefly. Dresses like a centurion, has a crazy voice, was only in 5 of the original shorts.
That's unbelievable to me because it sticks out in my head so much.
But Haredevil Hair it's so funny, and his introduction is so funny with his politeness, that he has this very earthly erudite with phrases, his phrase like, isn't that lovely? Isn't that delightful? Yeah. When he's angry, he doesn't spin around in circles like Taz. He says, that makes me very angry indeed. Like he's a proper little Martian.
I love that little dude.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you have no idea. Like I used to look at him, used to watch this show, cartoon Adam Ant when I was little, and I loved Adam Ant's little face. And Marvin the Martian always kind of reminded me of just this cute little round face. Like, no, it was only eyes. Everything else was black. And I was like, are they saying he's a black guy? I never quite knew what they were doing with him.
He's the one black Nemesis.
Yeah, he's it. He did it. Yeah, we did it. I freaking loved Marvin. Isn't there one of the cartoons where they're just hanging on to like a little piece of the moon?
It's the end of Daredevil Hair. They blew it up and they're just hanging onto a sliver.
Fantastic.
One thing I think that that you mentioned that his face is just all black with the eyes. That is an impressive bit of voice acting, I think, because you do not have facial expressions of the character to help you along. You've got maybe furrowed eyes, that indicate anger or whatever, but it really was in his very, clinical words.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great one. And also, side note, his likeness appears in miniature on the Spirit rover on Mars and is also on the mission patch for
fantastic
when we finally landed on Mars. Shout out to our friend Bobak Ferdowsi for putting rovers on Mars.
Yeah. I love me some Bobak.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
He's a good dude.
Dude.
When I think of Marvin the Martian, I know that he was a Bugs nemesis, but I think about him battling Duck Dodgers.
Yeah. In the 24th and a half. 24th and a half.
Yeah.
24th and a half century.
Something like that, I think. Something and a half.
Yeah. No, that was it. No, I think that was it. Wasn't it 21st and a half century?
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah.
All right. I want to move on now to Elmer Fudd. Let's talk about Elmer Fudd. The original, wasn't he the very first nemesis of Bugs Bunny? That this is what gave us Bugs Bunny was.
Yes.
He's actually older than Bugs Bunny. Mm-hmm. He appeared in 1940. So is Porky. Porky appeared 38, I think. He's got his crazy way of speaking. He's the one that, for me, the pathos makes it is so much a part of this character. Like you feel like you don't feel bad for the Nemesis very often, but I feel bad for Elmer Fudd. I wish he would find a new line of work. He's a terrible hunter, but seems like a nice enough guy.
Well, he's a terrible wabbit hunter. He may be great at all the other animals, but he definitely is not good at the wabbit hunt.
Right.
Yeah. He was the basis for The Revenant. He killed a bear with his bare hands, and then they made a movie out of it later. You just never see that because they don't put that in the cartoons. They don't give equal time to him.
Played by Leonardo DiCaprio.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah.
I was about to say too soon, but it's not too soon. It's right on time.
It's been a while.
I guess I can't feel bad for him because he instigated stuff by going out trying to hunt wabbit.
Yeah.
So I can't feel too bad for him. I'm sorry. That's him. Hey, look, I haven't eaten meat since 87. He could have been a vegetarian.
Yeah.
So I can't feel for that dude. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
He got what was coming to him the same way Eric Bauza is going to get what's coming to him.
Yeah.
That's right.
Does Bowser get voice Elmer Fudd
and
also?
my cash back? He does. I think he's also Elmer, and he's Porky Pig.
Of course he is.
Bugs, Porky. He's been Marvin the Martian for years.
In my twisted kid mind, I thought for a while that the actor who played Fred Mertz on I Love Lucy, I thought, that's just the same guy. I literally thought that cartoon guy and Fred Mertz were just not voice acting.
Right.
Like,
you thought it was the actor.
That's Fred from I Love Lucy. He's Elmer Fudd.
The original drawings, the way Elmer Fudd looked at the beginning, because they've all morphed through the years, but you look at the original Elmer Fudd, he looks like Fred Mertz.
Yeah, he looks like William Frawley, yeah.
Yeah.
So when we do the remake, when we do the recast, we're going to dig up Fred Mertz.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Put him in an Elmer Fudd hat, and then we'll call it a day.
I'm not certain that Hollywood should put you in charge of reboots if you just want to dig up the deceased actors. I'm just saying.
Let's talk about it off air because.
Okay, we'll do it off thread here.
We'll save it off thread. I will say my favorite short of all time is What's Opera Doc, which of course
it's perfect.
Is Elmer Fudd.
Elmer Fudd is great when his job isn't Hunter.
But wait a minute, in that, he was singing about.
He was the opera singer.
Kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty perfect short.
I respect Elmer Fudd, but I'm not going to feel bad for him. I respect him now.
No, but he does feel like a finalist for that reason. That makes him a good nemesis because you never feel, you want to see punishment inflicted on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's he has a reason to constantly be at odds with Bugs because he wants to kill him, presumably to make a stew.
Mm-hmm.
Rooting against
we
him.
saw him several times, cutting up the vegetables for the stew.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we've seen him salting and peppering, getting ready.
Why didn't he just go and be a chef?
Yeah, he should have done that. And sometimes he would even have Bugs in the pot with the hair on him and everything. That's why he was not a chef.
That's true. He did not.
A fully haired rabbit. Think, Elmer, think.
Come on. I want to move on now to the one who is, you mentioned this one, that What's Opera Doc is your favorite, Hal. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember the name of this one, but this was my favorite Bugs cartoon and Bugs foil combo. And that's Yosemite Sam, the great Yosemite Sam. Do you remember this one where Yosemite Sam plays a Hessian and it's the American Revolution? Bugs is a American patriot and Yosemite Sam is a Hessian. It's where they do the charge and running back and forth at each other's
Bunker Hill Bunny.
Absolutely.
Bunker Hill Bunny. Thank you.
Absolutely.
That one?
That one to me, the thing I think Yosemite Sam does better than any of them is that not when he's overall foiled over the course of a cartoon, but in the moment when he is foiled, his reactions to being foiled in the moment are some of the funniest comedy I've ever seen.
Yes. And the fact that he can levitate himself by shooting his pistols onto the ground.
Yes.
To raise him to the air like a jetpack. I loved he had those tiny little legs. I loved everything about Yosemite Sam.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know if he's the objective winner of this, but I think he's my personal favorite. Because it comes down to, it's the most fun when when Bugs is defeating Yosemite Sam, I am having the most fun.
I remember, and I still think of this all the time. I don't know which cartoon it was, but he's on a horse and he's trying to stop and he's like, whoa, horsey, whoa. And the horse doesn't whoa. And then he just starts pleading with it as I said, whoa. It's just the funniest thing. He's just pleading with this horse to whoa. That brings out his human side.
Yeah.
Love that little dude.
Yeah.
When I say whoa, I mean whoa.
Oh.
And he invented his own swear language.
Yep.
To get past the censors.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, what's great about Elmer Fudd is how quiet he is. He's so low energy. And then Yosemite Sam so one of them is a 1 and then Yosemite Sam is a 10 all the time. Watching him get foiled is more satisfying. Probably the reason why you don't feel as bad for him is because he's like, whoa, I'm so bad, as opposed to being defeated, which was Elmer Fudd.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so sad. It's like Willie Loman.
Yeah. When somebody calls themselves the rootness, tootness, whatever it is, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're about to get shown who's the rootness, tootness up in here.
Yeah, that's his Shakespearean flaw is his vanity.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not dumb. He's not that's another thing about him. He's, a lot of these foils are dumb and Bugs run circles around him. He's a pretty good match, intellect wise.
Yeah, no, he's not dumb. I don't want him on my, I don't know if I had a chess team.
Sure.
If I did, I might not want him on my chess team.
No, I mean, not with those 6-shooters.
No. But I wouldn't call his house up late at night and say, hey, you're dumb, and hang up,
Is that
Is that
what you would do to Elmer Fudd?
Did it to me once.
I've done it to pretty much most of the people in the greater Los Angeles area. Yeah.
Yeah. That was you. I'm now putting it together.
Yeah.
Cause it sounded like you. I was like, that wasn't Hollywood's Gary Anthony Williams.
It could have. Yes, it was Hollywood's Gary Anthony Williams.
But it was you.
Yeah.
Hollywood's Gary Anthony Williams. That sounds mean. And I think you should once again put your saliva to good use and write a letter to the people of Los Angeles. Put it on our windshields and apologize.
And by the way, doing it. Thank you for suggesting it.
You're welcome.
We have one more Nemesis to talk about. And I think at this point, it's really going to be Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam, or maybe this third character, which is his frenemy, Donald Duck. Or Daffy Duck. Jeez.
Yeah. Donald Duck,
Donald Duck crossed over? Daffy Duck. I have ducks on the brain.
In Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
In Who Framed Roger Rabbit when they were having a piano duel. No, Daffy Duck. Number one, maybe I have to take back What's Opera Duck and say that Duck Amuck is the greatest cartoon they ever put out.
That's, I think, my favorite of all time.
Where Bugs is only revealed at the very end to be the artist who's torturing Daffy in a completely meta cartoon. It has him with the screwball. Like, I don't understand. I try to be a good person. Like,
yeah. Lord knows I keep myself in shape. Heavens knows.
Yeah.
Heaven knows. Yeah. Just that, the performance in that by Mel Blanc is so great. You get every single level out of that character. Obviously, most of the time Daffy's is trying to protect himself. Like he wants it to be rabbit season instead of duck season. Not because he wants Bugs dead, but because he wants to live.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say that, like, watching the earlier Daffys, when he was just Daffy, like, he was crazy. He was just like all of that stuff. I love watching, even now, like watching how Homer Simpson changed from when he was just an interstitial on Tracy Ullman's show.
Yeah.
But being able to literally watch all of these characters grow into what they became is pretty fascinating. Because Daffy became that full-fledged character that you loved. And in the beginning, he was just a nutcase jumping around and being nutty.
I love Daffy Duck. I love the more modern I love the original Daffy, but I love the modern, just pure selfishness.
Full of himself.
For me, it seems like this is tough for me because, like, I think the idea of the best Bugs Bunny nemesis should be someone that is a less than, perhaps. Not quite up to what Bugs is. But in my mind, Bugs and Daffy, they are as symbiotic as Batman and the Joker. They exist in a world where they are each other's not opposites, but perfect. They form a perfect duo together. I mean, there's a reason it was the Bugs and Daffy show all through, what was it, the 80s where they did those. But I mean, Rabbit Season, Duck Season is so iconic because it's these two characters. It is the complete ultimate selfishness of Daffy Duck and I just want to poke holes in the complete selfishness of Daffy Duck version of Bugs Bunny. And I think in that short particular makes them such absolutely perfect nemesis.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also his greed, wanting the pearls, the back, down, mine. Like, they go on vacation together. They can't be that bad of enemies.
No. I also enjoy a guy who can get shot in the mouth, blows his beak backwards. Yep. Spits out the bullet and turns his beak. I enjoy that. I enjoy that in my friends.
It's just funny. Yeah. Do you have friends that you've tried that with? I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think Daffy is too much of a standalone character by himself?
No, I mean, we got to play the game. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, fantastic. But if you're going to ask me to play the game, sir, I must play. Tab is paying me to be here to play the game.
How many times are you supposed to say the word tab in this episode?
I don't know how much time we have left, but 38 more times.
Great.
After that, I get a free tab.
Wow.
Seems like a low payment you're taking.
I have a horrible agent. Horrible. But he knows I'm thirsty, and that's something.
That's fair.
Sure. Yeah, he's trying to attend to your needs. One need at a time.
One need, yeah.
That thirst that you had today.
I will admit who's my best. Who's my fave, guys.
Who's your fave? Who do you like out of these three?
Out of all of them, and I love them all, but I get such joy out of Yosemite Sam.
Yeah.
Such unadulterated joy out of Yosemite. I'm just watching his cowboy ways, drinking his sarsaparilla, firing those guns and bragging about how bad he is. And he really is not nearly as bad as just watching him get knocked down a peg with all his boisterousness.
And if Bugs Bunny's job is to take a character down a peg, he is the character who needs to be knocked down the most pegs.
Yeah. And you still don't hate him. It's not like, oh, I hate Yosemite. He's not the character I love to hate. I love him. And I love to see Bug stick it to him at the same time.
Yeah, he's, again, like, I think for me, I love Elmer Fudd. I think Elmer Fudd brings the humanity. Bugs Bunny brings the like parody, I think, between the two of them. But as far as a foil goes, in my mind, I think Daffy might be too much of a standalone. It's his thing. Like, is a frenemy and a foil the same thing?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And as a foil, I think Yosemite Sam is pretty unmatched. Hal?
Yeah, I came into this thinking it might be Elmer. Actually, I came into it thinking Daffy Duck, but I think Yosemite Sam is the perfect foil for him.
Yeah.
Because of the way he reacts to everything. You want to see him get worked up and upset. And when he walks in with all that pride, I'm the rootin' and shooting it, like all that stuff, you want to see him fall. And then when he falls, it's never disappointing because he's so angry and he's never defeated. It just drives him to want to do even more. Like you can't stop him from being upset and trying to either kill bugs or do whatever he's usually kill bugs. He wants to kill bugs.
Yeah.
I think it's Yosemite Sam.
This is funny. I told my girlfriend, I was like, I'm going to go on this show and I'm not going to agree with anybody. And I told her, I said, if I agree, you take my car that I fill with gasoline that it shouldn't be, and I want you to light a match to it.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you guys can hear that sound in the background now.
I can see the light reflecting.
It's the one and only time we will see a Tesla burning.
Yeah.
No. Well,
we've done it all.
You did it.
That's right.
You proved me wrong.
Hal, will you bring us home? Time to stand up on the dais and make the declaration.
People of the world, surprise, it's Yosemite Sam. He's 2 feet tall. He's basically a mustache and eyebrows with guns and a big hat. And he won't even have the guns anymore. The guns are going away. But he'll still be great because he's Yosemite Sam and he'll never stop. He'll never ever, he's like the Terminator. He'll never ever stop. You can't take his guns away. Don't be a fool. They'll take his guns while we take Bowser's ass and his cash.
That cash, yo. That's right.
Yosemite Sam, he's the greatest Bugs Bunny nemesis, asked and answered.
Oh, man. Gary Anthony Williams, this was a blast. Thank you for coming on the show and talking with us.
Thank you, my friends. A pleasure. An absolute American pleasure.
Right. What would you like people to see? What do you want them to go promote? Whatever you like, including Tab.
Luckily, everything's closed down right now. But when we come back, check out the Black Version. I think it's at theblackversion.com, my improv comedy troupe.
Amazing show.
Check that out. My podcast, Day Drinking with Gary and Elliot. Check that out. And then pretty soon, I have a new TV show from Netflix coming out when I get to finish it.
Very cool. Can you tell us anything about it or just that it's a new show on Netflix?
Absolutely. I can tell you I'll show you the script. I'll put the scripts up. It's called The Crew with Kevin James. I'm one of the leads along with like 4 other people. It's a nice little ensemble. Started shooting it in January of this year. Had to stop in March, but we're supposed to be going back in August. Hopefully.
Well, good luck. I hope you get back to it soon. I'm excited to see
same here,
it.
brother. If not, then you can watch partial episodes at my house.
Perfect.
It's already shot.
We're all going to just look for the burning Tesla.
Yep.
Thank you, Gary Anthony Williams. And thank you, Mickey, for the topic. This topic is closed, but there are many more to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter. Check out the Maximum Fun subreddit, or
you can email us at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com or go to the Facebook group. Share your favorite Looney Tunes moments and which Bugs Bunny enemies you enjoy. Facebook.com/groups/WeGotThisPodcast. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus for an awesome doc that we all use.
Thank you, Kate. That was great.
Yes. So good. Graphic designer Uri Kelman and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, the people of the world, for giving Hal and I a chance to sit down with Gary and talk about some of our favorite cartoons, some of the best cartoons of all time, and have a blast doing it. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
Best Bugs Bunny nemesis.
Do it as Porky.
Best enemy.
That's great.
Oh, wait. No, it's actually, it should be. Hold on.
Best Bugs Bunny, Best Bugs Bunny, Nanina enemy.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.